What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Justice League Unlimited issue number 3, written by Mark Waid, artwork by Dan Mora, and this is part 3 of this whole Justice League Unlimited thing. And there's some good stuff in here for sure. I think Dan Mora's artwork, goes without saying, is always going to look pretty good. Like, I have not seen a bad issue from him ever. And this is a beautifully drawn comic book, like, from start to finish. So, in that regard, it's pretty good. One thing that kind of left me a little disappointed with the second issue is after the cliffhanger ending with the, what was it, Airwave character, they kind of just didn't really like acknowledge that in the next issue. I'm like, are we going to do that? This is the one where we're starting to kind of pick up. We have the Question looking out for him, and he's just been kind of keeping himself isolated. He doesn't really have a family. We get a little bit of insight into kind of who he is and just his, like, you know, one of the lost children of Stargirl, which I didn't really read. But, yeah, so we get a little bit more with him, but, like, we still don't really see him, like, killing off the heroes. But Question's going to kind of take him under his wing a little bit there. We also have Inferno, the evil organization who's trying to burn down the Amazon rainforest, which would cause a lot of problems for everyone, obviously, because, you know, from an ecological standpoint, the Amazon rainforest covers, you know, a lot of the world, like, the majority of the world's forest, I guess, is in the Amazons. So, you know, Red Tornado and that, just sending various members of the League to kind of go investigate, kind of bring this thing down. But it's kind of magic based, so they have to bring in some magic users because Superman can't really, like, go into this thing. We had, like, Star Sapphire, Captain Marvel. We had, like, Flash, Wonder Woman, Stargirl, and then we have Stripe as well. So one thing I do like about Justice League Unlimited is you get so many different, like, characters. Like, it's a good, easy, like, excuse to bring in any type of character you want for any type of storyline. So you can get these, like, dynamics that you won't normally see. Like, you'll have kind of your mainstay heroes, and then you'll have kind of, like, the lesser known ones, like Stripe and all that, too, kind of thrown in the mix. So, like, this is a good, like, book for, like, the whole entire DC universe as a whole. And if you're not quite as familiar with things, they do kind of find ways to kind of, like, okay, yeah, this is who this is. Again, it reminds me of the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, where they didn't always have the big guns in there. Like, it gave a chance to kind of let other lesser known characters really kind of take the stage, like the Question, for example. And that's one of the things I really loved about that series versus, like, the first Justice League animated show, like the Unlimited versus, you know, regular Justice League, I guess. Some of the Metal Men kind of show up as well to kind of do their thing, but they need some magic users to kind of draw things out. Martian Manhunter is still, of course, missing after, you know, his powers being out of sync and all that too. So Zatanna's brought in, and then was it Xanther from that other, like, book or whatever that they had. I think it was like a mini series with Cassandra Cain showing up in that thing too. So they do bring out the Inferno group, who I guess is trying to gain some sort of control of the green, as we're kind of figuring out, by kind of torching things and just kind of flipping it in their favor. We also see, like, in Gateway City, we have, like, Plastic Man and that, like, for one of the other characters whose powers is kind of out of sync, and, you know, they try to mess with it. She seems to be okay, but then she kind of starts to fade away. So after, you know, the Absolute Power event, as some may know, a lot of the different heroes' powers are kind of out of sync, kind of wacky, and, you know, people have lost stuff and some have kind of gained stuff, and a lot of things are kind of out of place. It kind of reminds me of, like, the 60s Batman movie where everyone gets dehydrated and that guy kind of knocks things over, and then when they try to, like, build him, kind of, like, fix them and kind of bring them back, like, a lot of pieces are kind of jumbled with the different, like, language barriers and all that too. So yeah, so this evil organization, they're burning down the forest, and we kind of find out that they're looking for, like, access to, like, the green and all that too. So that's where we bring in Swamp Thing. And this actually ties back into that recent Batman Superman World's Finest issue, where I'm like, is that Swamp Thing? And yes, it is. So it's nice to see, like, Waid tying, like, this book back into, like, World's Finest. I feel like he hasn't really done that in a while. The last time I really remember it happening was when they were doing the whole, like, Devil Neza thing tying into, like, so now I feel like, okay, World's Finest feels like we're actually kind of building on something to kind of get back into the present day stuff. So, like, I think that'll probably help that a little bit too. Because it's like it's going to tie back into, like, an earlier plot or whatever. So he goes to kind of get the help of Swamp Thing because, you know, the green's under attack, but then he just kind of bursts into flames because Inferno's input over it all is, I guess, manipulating things too. So yeah, crazy way to end it. Swamp Thing getting torched, or just, like, one of the Swamp Thing versions or whatever. I don't know, like, I've lost track. Like, how many Swamp Things are there out there? I think there's, like, multiple ones or something like that. But yeah, so like I said, I do enjoy me some Swamp Thing. But this issue overall, I did enjoy it. Like I said, we're getting some moving pieces, a little bit more with Airwave. So, like, because he was trying to, like, I guess maybe he's going to be working for this Inferno organization. or something like that, because he's really just kind of like isolating himself from different things. Like, he clearly doesn't want to hurt the heroes, but there's something kind of like lingering over him, and we don't exactly know what that is just yet. So, but at least he was acknowledged in this thing, because at the end of the first issue, that was kind of the big cliffhanger. It's like, hey, what's going on here? Let's go back to this. But then Martian Manhunter's all over the place. So, and then we're getting all these other different things going on. So, a lot of different moving pieces. There's a lot of characters in this book, but this is Justice League Unlimited. I do expect a lot. So, and they're trying to get things kind of moving from different angles right now before it really kind of, I feel like, settles in to like a nice little flow. So, but still pretty good stuff overall. Is it my favorite of the run so far? I wouldn't say so. The first issue was really strong. Second issue had some even stronger elements in some ways, but it didn't do a good job following up the first issue with that whole cliffhanger ending. It felt like the pacing and like the dramatic shift felt a little out of place in that regards. Like, are we just going to skip over that? It feels kind of an odd place to end it, but now we're kind of starting to pick that up a little bit more here. So definitely a few things to look forward to, and see where it all kind of picks up from there. But anyways, that's all I have to say about this one. What did you think of it? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to your channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. I got a few more DC comic reviews I'm going to try and, get to covering in the next couple of days. I'm just gonna try and space them out like I have been, and then look forward to all that stuff. Gonna get some videos out, and I'm excited to do so. As always, take care now. Bye bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.